everybody, Caveman only here, and welcome to progress video number 4. Sorry this one's a little bit delayed compared to my usual schedule. I've had a lot of things going on in the real world to take care of, some family matters, and if you can't hear it in my voice, I'm getting over a sickness right now. So anyway, I've been doing a ton of smithing since my last video, basically exclusively smithing actually. I spent the first week after my last update just buying iron ore from the blast furnace shop. That's what you see in the background here. That took me about 25 total hours, which took me about a week to obtain. And then after that, I had my blast furnace event, which thank you to some of you who showed up to that. And since then, I've been doing nothing but making bars and smithing plate bodies. But the light is at the end of the tunnel now for the smithing grind, and there are some exciting things right around the corner, so stay tuned for some big things at the end of the video, and enjoy. So I've been playing this account for a couple months now, and buying this iron ore from the shop here has far and away been the most tedious thing I've had to do on the account. First of all, it doesn't give any experience, of course, and just the amount of time it took to actually get 25,000 iron was just ridiculous. Granted, it was faster than if I mined it all myself, even though I did this before the Mining Guild expansion came out, but still, this was super fucking tedious and wasn't very fun, but I got it out of the way, and now I can move on to using the blast furnace. I actually finished buying all the iron ore a day earlier than I had anticipated before my blast furnace community event. So I decided I needed to kill some time, so I went and trained some thieving. You can see here in the clip in the background that this has been my main method of training thieving. Basically what I do is I get the black guard and trap him behind the gem stall there in the northwest corner, and that leaves me free to steal from both the cake stall and the crafting stall. I did this all the way up to level 49, and then at level 49 I was able to also steal from the crossbow stall, which is just there to the south of the crafting stall. Not the greatest experience. The cake stall here in Keldegrim actually spawns, I think, 3 times slower than the one in Ardun, which is the reason why it's so important for me to trap the black guard. That way I can at least make up for the slow respawn timer by stealing from 2 stalls instead of just the one. Finally, the much anticipated blast furnace community event was here, and so here's a clip from that. I want to give a big shout out to 3 guys in particular, Zyte, Catman 1900, and Segev, for sticking around as long as you did and helping me operate the machinery. They stuck around the longest and persevered, although the event was not as populated as I had expected. I did have about a dozen to maybe 15 people over the course of several hours stop by to help out and contribute, but it was really thanks to those 3 guys that stuck around the longest to help me get things done. So I'm just happy that people showed up at all to the event, to be honest. I'm sure that the next one will be even better, of course, and yeah, good talk. So for those of you who aren't in the loop about why I was hosting a blast furnace community event, of course it was to hang out with some of you, but one of the secondary effects was also to save me a lot of money in operating costs. If you've never used blast furnace before, there's actually 2 designated worlds, 58 and 86, where you can go use the blast furnace world, and the machinery is operated by NPCs. But the caveat is that you have to spend 60k an hour in order to use the furnace. So although I would have gotten my bars made a lot quicker, I would have been 600k in the hole just for using that world, which I didn't take into account when I was doing my mining, which means I would have to go back and mine even more coal to make up for that loss. So thanks to this community event, I did save quite a bit of money, even though I did not save some time, so it was a bit of a trade-off. But I think that overall I'm happy with the decision, and I'm happy with the way that the event turned out, and I'm really looking forward to having another event in the future. one of the mistakes I made for the community event was hosting it on a holiday. It was Father's Day, and I am completely aware of that, and I know that that probably had an impact on the turnout for the event. So anyway, things died down in the event about midday, so I decided to take some of the steel bars that I had made and go and smash out 60 smithing, which doing that would not only allow me to not have to pay the foreman $12.5K an hour, but it also opens up the anvils that are in blast furnace, and it also opens up a new smithing method. So several people commented both on the YouTube video and also on Reddit about this smithing method that exists for blast furnace that I was completely unaware of. Now, it requires 60 smithing first, but basically it's a way to get the benefit of the blast furnace worlds that are operated by NPCs without having to pay the cost. Basically what you do is go to any non-blast furnace world and put the ore that you want to use on the conveyor belt. Then you switch to a blast furnace world, and when you switch to the blast furnace world, your bars are automatically created, as you see here. Then all you do is hop back to any other non-blast furnace world, cool off the bars if you have to, and collect them. So of course it is slower than using the blast furnace designated world alone, because it requires a lot of world hopping, and sometimes if you're quick you do hit the world hop limit. But it's pretty effective for me. This footage is taken after the community event, so I'm back to smithing solo. So this is a great way for me, now that I'm 60 smithing, to train without having to need the assistance of others. On a side note, one of the things you might have noticed in this clip is that my frames are absolute shit. And this is just me running OS Buddy as well as OBS recording software in the background. So that's one of the reasons I want to upgrade some of my hardware. You might have remembered this from a previous video that I made, but I've set some goals outside of the game for myself to achieve. So at 500 YouTube subscribers, I plan to buy a desktop Blue Yeti mic as well as a new keyboard and mouse. And at 1,000 subscribers, I plan on buying a brand new custom-built PC. So if you watch my content but you haven't subscribed yet, do consider that, because not only does that help me out, but that means that I'll be able to put out better, high-quality content more often for you guys. So in my last few levels, I decided to risk it for the biscuit and make some mithril bars into mithril plate bodies. It's a little risky because it does cut into my coal supply, but I noticed that the mithril plate bodies do sell to the general store in Keldegrim for more than double what the steel plate bodies do. So if my math is right, I can make some mithril plate bodies and sell them with the remaining mithril ore that I have left, and I will still reach my 5 mil goal while also saving some time. That way I don't have to make all of the plate bodies into steel plate bodies. Here we are, boys. The Mining Guild expansion was just released, and man, I gotta say, a couple months ago I never would have imagined getting any content expansions to the areas that I've allowed myself access to on this account, and now I've received 2 of those inside of a month. The first of which is the Czar City and the Inferno, of course, and now the Mining Guild expansion. To be honest, I don't really know how useful the Mining Guild expansion is going to be for me, mostly because the majority of my mining that's going to be really useful to my account is already over. But since I'm already a third of the way to 99, I will probably get 99 in the future, so this might prove useful if I want to do something other than Motherlode Mine. A few notable features. We've got an Iron 4 spot there, which is great for power mining, and a couple Iron 3 spots in the new expansion, really close to a bank. So that could be useful if you want to power mine, but also you want to bank. That is a useful alternative as well. Now we've also got an ore shop, which could be useful for selling ore, I'm not exactly sure. And also a pickaxe shop, which is really nothing new. This could also be useful on my free-to-play Ultimate Ironman account. If you guys didn't know that, I have one of those, same kind of thing that Automology does, except not nearly as good. So that could prove useful in the future. Other notable features are the new mining gloves. I haven't checked this out at all besides running through here to get some footage from a video. But the mining gloves, I don't know if they're going to have any use to me, to be honest. I'm still going to get them just because I think it'll be cool. But this is the big content for me right here, is the amethyst. First of all, first and foremost, I get to make a pink rock golem once I get 92 mining, so that's, of course, the best thing to come out of this. But also, the amethyst could prove useful to me in the future for Slayer. One thing I've decided that is a big update for me is I've added an additional one-off item grab for the very distant future. And that item grab is a U-log from Edgeville. And the reason for that is I've decided with the release of amethyst and now craftable amethyst bolt tips to add on to broad bolts, I've decided I want to get a full rune crossbow. It has a ton of requirements, which I will list later on in the video. But since the broad bolts are so cheap from the shop, and eventually I'll have 92 mining where I can mine amethyst, I'd like to be able to make some amethyst broad bolts to help me with my Slayer. Because range, I think, is going to be probably my primary Slayer combat style, just because training prayer is difficult and getting prayer points is difficult. So melee, doing close combat with a lot of monsters that are higher level than me is not going to be very copacetic. As I mentioned earlier, take a look at number 4 on the list there. Those are all of the requirements that I'll need in order to make a rune crossbow and the amethyst broad bolts. It's going to take me a long time to do all of that, so don't expect it anytime soon, but for end game Slayer content in the far, far away future, it'll be very useful. And now for the good shit. Oh my god, I've missed doing Slayer so much. I got 99 Slayer on my main about a year and a half ago, and then I got kind of burnt out. That's why I created a free-to-play Ultimate Ironman. Then I got burnt out on that after about a year, and then I started this guy. So it's been about a year and a half since I've done any Slayer at all. And I am so excited to get to Slayer finally. I have updated my Slayer rules very slightly, just to include killing bronze dragons and green dragons in Brimhaven, and also ogres either in the Witch Haven dungeon or in the wilderness, probably in Witch Haven to be honest. And also for Slayer rings. Before I had made it a requirement to purchase the ability to craft Slayer rings before I was able to unlock Relic of Slayer Cave. But seeing as that's probably not very realistic, I've just made the requirement to purchase a Slayer ring, which costs 75 points from the Slayer shop. Here's a master list of all assignable Vanica Slayer tasks. I know it's probably difficult to read in the video there, but if you just take a look at the key on the left-hand side, you'll see that out of that whole list of 57 tasks, only 4 of them I cannot do at all. Those are Harpy Bug Swarms, Desert Lizards, Killer Watts, and Crocodiles. So I'm pretty optimistic about the way that Slayer is going to go down for me in the future. Of course, I still have to worry about unlocking the Catacombs with 69 magic and then finding that stupid incantation in the Arceus library. And then also getting 75 Slayer points, which means doing like 15 completable tasks from Vanica in a row in order to get that amount of points to get a Slayer ring in order to unlock the Relic of Slayer Caves. And now for the moment you've all been waiting for. Well, I don't know if you guys have been waiting for it, but I've been waiting for it. And that is my Twitch livestream premiere. Finally, I am done with this phase of my account. I've been mining and smithing for about 6 weeks now, and it is time to move on to a new chapter. And I've decided that I want to kick off my Twitch streaming with the beginning of my Phase 2, which will start with unlocking the Edgeville respawn for 5 million GP, and then from there hopefully I'll be starting my Slayer grind. So that's going to be happening this coming Friday, June 30th at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I know that this is going to be in the middle of the Deadman Mode tournament stuff this week, but hopefully by Friday some of that will have died down and some of you will be looking for something else to watch, at least briefly anyway. So come check me out. Go ahead and give my Twitch stream a follow, twitch.tv/caveman only. That way you'll get a notification when I go live. I am really looking forward to this, guys. I have so much to do once I unlock the Edgeville dungeon. My laundry list is enormous. First of all, I want to get 7 Slayer. That way I can finally kill cave bugs in order to collect secondaries to get 10 Herblore. Then I can finally finish questing so I can unlock the Keldagrim to Dorgish Khan train. That way I will be permanently underground from then on, aside from Slayer, of course. Then I need to get 43 Prayer to finish off my protection prayers, and the list goes on and on. So I am incredibly excited for this next phase, and I hope that you guys are as well, and I hope to see you at my Twitch livestream premiere. Well, I think that's all I've got for you for this installment. I hope that you guys are looking forward to Phase 2 of my account as much as I am. This mining and smithing grind is finally over, and we can move on to some bigger and more exciting things. So thank you for watching, as always, and I will see some of you on Friday for my Twitch livestream premiere.